Hey everyone, it's Lisa from Primitive Gatherings, and it is time for the second block this week, block number 21. Only 4 more blocks left. It's getting exciting. So block 21 is a cool square and a square sawtooth square. So we're going to make that inside unit first. I did make all my half square triangles ahead of time because by now you know how to make these using the triangle paper. And if you're not using triangle paper, bless you is all I can say, okay? I don't know how people do not do this unless you're taking a lot of time. If you've got a lot of time in the world to trim everything down perfect, I don't. All right, so I have a square and a square here. I have a flying geese here to finish up, and then we can put the whole block together. All right, so here's my center square. I'm just going to center this on here. Now you can do the pinch thing where you find the center here, find the center of your square. However you want to do that, it works. Sometimes I'm just good at eyeballing it, but if you want to do the pinch, that works too. And then do the other side. I'm pretty good at just eyeballing it. And I think this is going to get trimmed a little bit. All right, I'm going to press these away from the center. Two more, centering that. I'm looking here and I'm looking here when I eyeball that. All right, so trim to 3½ at this point. So what is half of 3½? 1 3/4. So I'm going to take my ruler, put 1 3/4 on the diagonal of my square. So right here and here is 1 3/4, and I'm going to trim. And then you should always make sure that you have 1/4 of an inch at least here. I like to have more, but I at least need 1/4 of an inch there. So I prefer things float. Do you know what that means? I hope so. It means they don't have to be exact 1/4 of an inch, that there can be more space there. But sometimes the math works out exactly perfect, and then there's not a lot of float. It's just a normal 1/4 of an inch. So I hope I didn't confuse you by that. All right, 3½ square now, all the way around. Plenty. Ooh, it looks so good. And it's hard when you sit and cut. I'm not used to it. I don't have enough strength sitting. All right, so now I have the center. I have all my half square triangles made, and these are 3/4 half square triangles. So if you're not making half square triangle paper, you should be cutting 1 5/8. All right. So sometimes I know we forgot to put that in one of our things if you weren't using the triangle paper. See, but I just can't imagine anybody not. All right, so 1 more flying geese here to make, and then we can put the block together, line those babies up. Finger press. Add the last side here. I love this block. I love star blocks. And this sawtooth one with the square and the square in the middle. One of my faves. All right, so there are all 4 of my flying geese. My center block. So the flying geese go in the middle of each one. Gotta remember not to turn them this time. And then we are doing more half square triangles on each side. Okay, backwards. There we go. So those 4 go together, or I should say 3. So let me just stitch those together first. All right, line up the other ones here before I take that one out. Adding the squares onto 2 of them. One more triangle on the end here. Nothing left to stitch, so one more square on there. All right, so it looks like I'm just going to press everything out from the center. Look at, I had one move on me. See that? Can't be having that. I have to take that one out. It's a short little seam, so I'm just going to zip it off. I don't have to press it open. I'm just going to slide it back. It must have slid when I pushed it into my machine. So always be looking for that. Much better. I kind of thought that happened when I was building it. All right, these to the outside as well. Four more seams. All right, so those are going to go to the sides and top and bottom. So do you know why I didn't pin there? No seams to match up. You can pin if you want, but there's nothing on this square and a square that has to line up. So I don't pin. All right, so these, again, so that's too much bulk, so I'm going to open these up. Now the pins have to come out. I have to line these up, these corners. That one here. Let's look. All right, looks good. Last two seams pressing open. Okay, time to trim up a little bit. Nice. All right, block 21, all done. Now it's time for you to stitch yours.